Hello and welcome to the live stream today. Just a quick tour around Dunkettle Interchange to see what's changed. Mostly I leave you in silence just to have a look around unless there's something of note. Today will be fairly quiet around the roundabout and Interchange. I think it's a bank holiday Monday, May the 1st, just after 2 PM. Speed limits around on the Interchange today, and there could be a couple of speed vans. So this section here, 100 kilometers, is about the fastest that we'll be able to travel today. Normally around 60, some parts down to 35 on the Interchange. I presume the audio and video is coming through okay. It's the first time I tried a live stream, and it's a new GoPro Hero 11 connected by 5G, so hopefully the signal will keep up. On the left here is where you'd exit for the M8 to Dublin, changing into the M7. This exit here on the left goes down as far as the tunnel, but that will be replaced by this new exit coming up on the left. This will be the new exit to go to the tunnel. It goes around in a circle and joins the roads from the M8 and Little Island. No speed van here so far, but this is the ideal spot that they have them, so just keep down to 60. As you can see here, you can't exit to Little Island coming from the city at the moment because of it's mostly for people coming from the M8 and people joining onto the N25. going to exit here at the Little Island junction. This is the East Little Island East, where you'd exit for the Radisson Hotel, KFC and the Range, and everything else in Eastgate. But I'll be just coming back onto the N25 heading westward straight away. So the speed limit on all this section is 60 kilometers per hour. Just make a quick exit here back down onto the N25 eastbound, and after that we'll just head towards the tunnel and see what way the traffic is in Mahon to turn around. If not, we'll head back over to Bloomfield and enter there. Went to watch the speed here at 60, but the one advantage is that I'm driving a hybrid at the moment, so when the speed is about 60 it's nearly constantly using electric rather than the motor, but you may hear the motor turning on every once in a while, especially towards hills.
In 1 kilometre, Roadworks.
It's just a Toyota app warning of Roadworks in 1 kilometre, but the whole site really is Roadworks at the moment. So if you're coming down this way towards the city, you need to use lane 2 to head in towards Tivoli and the city. Lane 1 here will diverge under the tunnel, but in future you'll use these other 2 lanes here to the left. The furthest one will go straight to Little Island, and the lane 2 on that section will go under this overpass and head straight to the tunnel. So these 2 roads will be back going into the city, these 2 lanes rather. Still trying to keep it at 60, because even though there's no sign of a speed van, pretty sure we're still being watched. So just to the left here is the bridge that will join from Little Island, and under that then will be the replacement to this road going straight into the tunnel. So we'll just keep to the left here. If by chance you got into the wrong lane, lane 1, and you were heading to the city, you have a second chance here using these lanes 2 and 3 to exit towards Tivoli. You just need to go through the roundabout. But you would take the right hand lane here if you had to go to the M8. So it's clear so far going to the tunnel. So the tunnel is normally 80 kilometers an hour, but during the roadworks it's the same as all the other roads at 60. Signal may have dropped going through the tunnels, but hopefully it's back online. Just to repeat that the speed limit in the tunnel at the moment is 60, not 80. Traffic looks fairly heavy heading towards the tunnel, but for the video we'll have to carry on and go through it.
Attention. In 1 kilometer, road closed.
This is the exit 10 towards Mahon. We'll just make a quick turn around here and get back on the N40 going northwards. This section is 50 kilometers per hour. You can also exit here to head to Mahon, Blackrock and back into the city, and you just go straight ahead if you just want to continue on the N40. Sorry. These lights always take ages to change, but once we get over the bridge we should get back onto the N40 fairly quick, but we do have a bit of traffic ahead going to the tunnel direction. Just got caught by the lights as usual, but hopefully they won't take too long. One other advantage of the Toyota Corolla Hybrid is that when you stop here with the lights, the engine isn't running, so you're not producing any emissions, no petrol being wasted, just solely on the battery. A lot of other cars do it now as well, but you need to put them in neutral, but it's just all automatic on the hybrid. Here we go. Behind this truck, but this is another popular spot for speed vans to appear. So might as well take the exit to the M8. So if you travel this road a year ago, you'd notice that the signs have changed, that the M8 is now on the right hand lane and the N25 on the left, and the city on the left as well. You'll see the reason why when we get through the tunnel. So all this road is 60 kilometers per hour. Signal might drop again in the tunnel, but hopefully it'll keep okay. Even though the cars in front are going a bit faster, it just still need to keep to the 60. And don't change lanes in the tunnel. Hopefully the signal is back and we continue as normal. So use any of these two right hand lanes to continue north to the M8, or which will take you to Dublin from Y direction. The lanes here are a bit of a maze, they keep changing, but be careful at this part because a lot of people realise that the roads have changed and try and dart back. Yeah, so this section here is down to 35 kilometers per hour. The only difficulty is that they don't have a sign to say where the 35 ends, so I just presume it's by the speed sign here. So that's the entrance from the slip road that comes from the city, the first turn on the Dunkettle interchange. So all this section is still 60 kilometers per hour. construction van up ahead rather than a speed van, but you can't be sure. But just after this van, the speed limit changes to 100 kilometers per hour. Continue on along this road until the Glanmire junction 18, I think, and we'll come back towards the tunnel, but this time we'll head on the slip road going to the N25 eastbound and turn off at Little Island, the new junction. Roundabout here is another favourite spot for speed vans. We might see one at the moment, so I'll just keep on to the 100 kilometers an hour just to be sure, but probably going a bit too slow at 85 at the moment. There's a lot of cameras here watching the lanes. Presume in the future this will be for average speed cameras, similar to the Port Tunnel. Junction 18 heading off to Glanmire. We just have to travel north a bit to rejoin the M8 travelling south. But this is a very short junction. Speeds we really need to slow it down for these, but once you get round this turn it's 60 kilometers an hour. I'm sure it changes to 30 fairly quick. So, yeah, here we go. This bridge is well worth a visit if you're taking a walk around Glanmire. It comes over on the other side towards, I think it's Pigeon Hill. You can then walk alongside the river by them. It's a river walk. It's taking you straight into Glanmire, but you're still a bit out from it. You might come in by the Lidl direction, by the Aldi direction. So here we are rejoining the M8 southbound. Just for the beginning section it's 120 kilometers an hour is the speed limit, but it changes fairly quickly to 100, and just after that is another site for a speed van, for people who would assume that a motorway, an M road would be 120. I try to take advantage that people don't realise it's changed to 100. Here's the spot where the speed limit changes to 100, and around this corner is where you could expect to see a speed van where the road straightens out. I'm keeping the speed to about 94 at the moment, so we won't be caught. It's up to 100 at the moment now. People are leaving themselves wide open to be caught by the 100 km/h speed limits. Limit is changing again in about 800 meters, so we'll have to go back down again. Get right down to the 60 kilometers an hour. On this approach, we're going to take the slip road off on to the N25 eastbound, but I'm actually going to turn up to Little Island just to show you what that junction looks like in May. So you'd have to be careful here. So this road is for the N25. If you want to head straight to the tunnel of the city, you need to take the N40. If you take this slip road and had meant to take the N40, you can actually turn off by this junction to Little Island, go around by the factories by Pfizer, and you can rejoin by the slip road going through the tunnel, or alternatively you could go straight ahead on the road we were earlier and go up through the up to Dunkettle roundabout. So here's where all the roads would have merged from the tunnel, and this road goes up to Little Island. So we'll just drive over a bit to the end by the roundabout, and then we'll come straight back on the same road and head to Glanmire to see what way the roadworks are going out there. So this is the exit as well if you want to head to the N25 after coming from Glanmire. And this section just goes past the factories and will bring you right into Little Island, a short distance from the range and from a lot of other factories that are built there. So I would presume that the next update will include the road to take you from the N25 eastbound where you come in from the city on the circular path to go into the tunnel, and then maybe the existing slip road will be closed. And then maybe after that these exits to Little Island, or from Little Island, will be complete. So here we go back again. It's 50 kilometers per hour is the limit here. Just glancing at the phone, it looks like the signal strength is up, so hopefully you're getting a good picture and sound. But as it's the first live broadcast, could expect a couple of hiccups. So I think on this roundabout, this first exit here with the cones will take you to the M8 Dublin direction, and this second and after crossing the bridge, the first exit here is just the entrance that we came on to the junction, and on the opposite side, on the right hand side, you can travel to Waterford eastbound. So this is another brand new road with North Esk on the right hand side, and I think there's some sort of recovery firm here on the left hand side. Well, it's a business park now at the moment, I think. So in this section you can turn to the right to go to Glanmire. There's a nice cycle path along the whole way. It actually continues along this road as well. I have another video about the cycle path that comes right up at the back of the school and continues along here. It sort of separates from the road. One good thing about the upgrade is that the only way to come through it on a cycle was to go on the main roads before, but now you can more or less cycle off the main path. So the cycle path on the right crosses to the left, and it'll take you right down by the slip road to the M8. So this road goes into Glanmire by that bridge by the monkey maze, and the done a lot of road widening on this, so it should be a bit better. So it's 50 kilometers an hour is the speed limit on this particular section. All the new houses that's been built up here. It's delayed with the pandemic, but I think everything is completed now. This junction here is something that's taken a longer time to complete than all the houses, and it's fairly tight turning down here with even a saloon car, you can imagine, with a truck. Still trying to keep it below the 50 just in case, because there could be roadwork pop up at any time, but not obviously today on bank holiday. But you could still expect a speed van anywhere. I mean, if someone is working in a speed van today on a bank holiday, they could be getting double or triple time. So it's not bad money to go out and park a van and sit in it for a couple of hours. Go back into Glanmire village. Actually, it's the first time we visited here. Yeah, so the road widening here makes a big difference. It's 30 kilometers an hour speed limit, but there's a lot of crosswalks, and down towards this section at the end of the hill, the lane split into two. Before you'd have to queue up in the one lane if someone was turning right. You could be there quite a while, but that problem is probably not resolved, but eased a good bit. So I just had the automatic braking on there when the car pulled out, but you pushed on through it. We just head down towards the old Dunkettle roundabout and head back in towards the city, just to give you an update of what's happening in there. Not much work connected with Dunkettle, but I think we've seen all we need to see in this update from Dunkettle, so I might as well just get the bonus footage of the city on a quiet bank holiday. Yeah, so this section is 80 kilometers per hour. You change from 50 to 80. Way back in time, this would have been the entrance to come in from Dublin. The road would have been widened at one stage, but there would have been a drawbridge to go onto the Waterford direction, because this river was used as a transport passage. Coming back up to the Dunkettle roundabout at the moment, so everything around here is the same. Pick your lane to go to the tunnel or Waterford, and this lane here on the right to go to the city. I just try, there's not enough space between this car and the line, so just wait for it to move on a bit. I think this update of the car has a bit of a sound when you're travelling under 20 kilometers an hour, just to warn people you're about. The last version of this didn't have it, travel in complete silence. So we're going to exit here towards the city, just in lane 2. It's 100 kilometers an hour is the limit here. Just go into lane 1 for a minute, but I need to change back to lane 2 to go to the city. This would be the road that you take if you wanted to go towards Mayfield, or straight onto the N20 out to Limerick. You'd need to go through Blackpool for that, but you can still get to the N20 by taking lane 2 here, but it just goes to the city. So there's no one behind at the moment, so we're going to take that lane. Go back to 80 kilometers an hour here. So at this point you really want to be in lane, because the N8 is this lane, N20 is a lane on the left heading to Mayfield. And this is more or less the last chance. So we're back to about 60 kilometers an hour. It gives the engine a chance to turn off and all electric to come on. Petrol in these petrol stations about 163. It's probably about 4 cent dearer than the cheapest that you'll get around at the moment. I suppose leave a comment if you've seen any cheaper petrol around. The diesel, I think there was maybe just 156. I'm not too certain. And this is another great road for a walk or cycle. It's right along the river the whole way in. And the speed limit is 60 on this road. Pub here on the left hand side called the Ferry Boat Inn. It got its name because of people would have got rowboats over to the park for matches on whatever, on a Sunday or whatever day they were being held. Pub is long gone. This junction here is probably a bit odd. You turn from one lane, it divides into two. It's probably not a priority which one you get in, but if you're using a bike, you'd probably need to cross them lights because the bike lane changes sides and is on the right from here on in. We'll try and get down to Patrick Street if we can, but it closes to traffic at 3:30 as far as I'm aware. It could be 3, so maybe we might have to give that one a miss. If I can go straight here and maybe turn over on Brian Boru Bridge. So there'll be traffic lights here at this junction for the buses when it's completed as well. Actually, Patrick Street is closed from 3, so it might just need to go around a different direction. So all these lanes have changed as well. You can turn right here up the Summerhill North, left into the city and straight on if you want to bypass and go down to the N20. Brian Boru's Bridge have also changed now and is 2-way. I'll confirm that as soon as we get around the corner. So if you're on a bike as well, you'll find that these lights don't match the pedestrian lights, which they should. Yeah, the pedestrians can cross here, but bikes still can't. And you can actually get a ticket for coming through a red bike light. Oh yeah, we can't actually turn there now yet because of the bike. Yeah, there we go. These bike lights for some reason don't seem to go green, they just stay at amber, flashing amber. It would have been better if they changed with pedestrian light. We'll just go along the quays here and towards not too sure if we can get down any further, but we can have a look. Patrick Street closed and not a lot to see around the place. Maybe I should have started here first or something, but can't do nothing. So all these junctions go straight only, it's the only option. You can't turn here on the Christie Ring Bridge no more. You had to need to stay on the other side of the river. Might be able to just get over by North Main Street, travel down a bit of Washington Street along to Grand Parade and Parnell Place, and then finish up. seems to be a lot of people out walking today, which makes the closing of Patrick Street a good idea, but a lot of people don't take any notice of that particular restriction. Like if you turn here to Academy Street, it would automatically bring you on to Patrick Street, which is actually closed to cars, but there should be a bigger warning down there. But just in case you are travelling in Cork, that you can't use Patrick Street between 3 and 6:30, 7 days a week, even including bank holidays. Roads here follow a different flow from the normal traffic. You'll see that I'm on the right rather than on the left, but I suppose technically it's not really a road. Not really a 2-lane road. North Main Street here used to be one of the busiest streets around at one stage, but it's gone a bit derelict. But a lot of improvements happening at the moment, but a lot of independent shops rather than the supermarkets really have closed down now, except of course for Euro Joint and Mr. Price. Another point, it's all 50 kilometers inside in the city. Some sections are 30, but the main streets here are 50. But this is another section where you would have to get into your lane before it's too late, especially when there's heavy traffic, because on the right hand side it's straight on or westbound. This particular lane I'm in will go to well, it would have gone to Patrick Street and onto the Grand Parade. But Patrick Street is no go unless you're driving a bus or a taxi at this time. Traffic is fairly heavy here. There's a bus lane here to the left hand side. So someone taking their chance on it. So at one stage you would use the left hand lane, which is now the bus lane, to head towards Patrick Street, and this right hand lane to head to the Grand Parade. So here we're going to enter the 30 kilometers an hour zone. but with traffic around it's probably not easy to exceed it. After this we'll head from the Grand Parade down to the St. Mal, around by Parnell Place. Try and go the opposite direction over Brian Brew Bridge and along the quays, and I'll finish up just when we get to the top of Shandon Street. I'll go a bit along Blackpool and shut off more around Dublin Street. So this is the turn onto the Grand Parade. Surprisingly, potholes in the middle of the city by the Berwick Fountain, which would have been in the centre of the road at one stage. And these pedestrian lights are quick action, which is the norm for most European cities, to give pedestrians priority to cross rather than trying to jaywalk across the road. To watch the speed there. You won't find any speed vans in the city, but the guards still have the power to do speed checks. I'll take the left hand lane down all the way here on the St. Mal and exit around the Parnell Place and try and swing out further to the right hand lane. This street is another favourite spot for people just to cross the road without using the crosswalks. But Patrick Street and the Grand Parade have crosswalks fairly regular, but these streets don't. Might have to change lane again, but I'm pretty sure it's the centre lane if you want to head to Brian Brew Bridge. It's a direction that I haven't travelled up to now, so please bear with me, might have to change it again. Yeah, I think we're okay. Two lanes turning here now, so I presume one was going to one is for over the bridge and the other one maybe for straight on to go to the South Link. So if you're still with me at this point, if you could like and subscribe, the usual stuff that YouTube will say. But in my case, I'm trying to get over the 900 subscribers on the way to 1,000. Just personal landmark. It's not so here we go around here and try and get into the lane beside the river. Go over Brian Brew Bridge in the opposite direction for the first time in maybe 40 years, I think, when it changed direction last. It would have been used to carry trains at one stage, and maybe it was all in one direction, but there are some videos out there that show the trains travelling over these bridges, Brian Brew and Clontarf Bridge. So hopefully it is changed when we travel down here and take the next left. not too sure about the lanes here, but it looks fairly quiet. Should be able to change them easy enough. You can't change. You can't turn up here into Harley Street anymore either. It's pedestrian walkway for the new bridge. I'm not too sure the name of the bridge. I'm sure someone could provide it. Here you have the option to turn up Bridge Street or head straight on, and heading straight on will bring you to the junction to the N20. Just having a look ahead to see, I think maybe I might be in the wrong lane, but yeah, we can change it. Yeah, I need to go straight on rather than go to the N20. It'll bring me down to Pope's Quay, and then I'll turn up Shandon Street. I wouldn't normally drive around with the radio off, but YouTube's copyright rules really frown on any music in the background that you don't pay them for. Sometimes when I complete these videos, I put in music from Epidemic Sound to simulate a radio in the background. I think with this first test of a live stream, I could leave it off. Yeah, so this lane is straight for the N20. The other lane here seems to go all three ways, so just need to go straight on. I probably could have guessed it that the lane to the right here faces oncoming traffic, so I suppose I should have realised earlier. Yeah, so the St. Mary's Dominican Church on the right, and you can see from this street that it really demonstrates what Cork is like in the summer. That people outside cafes and the beer house here on the right. It's just after opening, but in an hour or two it should be fairly busy. One stage in the past, this road would have had houses on both sides with toilets flowing straight into the river, but they've been knocked about 200 years, I think. So here we head straight up Shandon Street just to see what that's like at the moment. I'm not too sure if the friary is open now ahead, but there seems to be a character looking out the window. I'm not too sure who it is, but it takes a while to realise that there's not someone looking out. You might be able to see it better in a second when we get a bit closer on the turn. Definitely hear the hybrid engine turning on at this stage going up the hill. The electrics don't seem to like the hill in the hybrid anyway, but the electric car, no problem. up this direction. That would have been, they should be regarded really as heritage pubs at this stage, that they're such a long time. Straight on down here to Joel Griffin Street. This is home of popular chip shop, Murphy's. Amazon delivery 7 days in Cork at the moment, even on a bank holiday. Just go straight on here behind the church. It's a bit tight here with the cars, but 2 cars can pass here. Quiet around this part of Blackpool since everything moved up to the shopping centre, including the local post office. Moriarty's Barbers here on the right. It's here a long time. It moved out from Merchants Quay when they knocked all that. I think he's in the barber business maybe 40 years or 60 years. Sorry. So we get back on here now down to the older part of Blackpool, which is really run down, and we'll just switch off once you get to the overpass. Thanks for watching over the past hour, and hopefully we'll have more updates. Just hang on a second. I'd say we might be able to catch a train parked on Spring Lane Bridge, but maybe it's before. No, it's stopped. Yeah, I'll leave you here and see you next time.